let's power automate all your D365 and M365 documents with dox42. I'm Lisa Pulsinger, Senior Technical Evangelist and Product Manager, and together with dox42 CEO Christian Bauer, we've prepared a lot of powerful content for you.
Hello everyone, my name is Christian Bauer. I'm CEO of dox42 and welcome to our session.
So what can you expect of the next 30 minutes? At first it's Christian's turn and he will introduce you to the challenges and power of document automation. You will find out why do you need it and what to look for when looking for a solution. Then it's my turn again and I will show you some really cool dox42 live demo scenarios. You will get to see our Power Automate connector, you will get to see Power Apps, D365 CE and also SharePoint. And we were going to show you a really cool scenario which we use for our sales automation. And if you pay very close attention and follow the process I'm going to show you, you might be among the lucky winners of a dox42 Lego Campervan Set. For now, just take note of the QR code up here, scan it and save it for later. After those live demo scenarios, it's time to pass the mic to the dox42 customers. They will tell you how dox42 has helped them in their daily business life. And of course, in the end, you will find out how to stay in touch with us. So much for now, let's get going.
So why is document automation essential on the Dynamics 365 platform? Every company, every organization is creating tons of contracts, of presentations, of offers, of any kind of document every single day. And many of these documents require quite a bit of complexity. Require to integrate text modules or conditions, a dynamic hyperlink, including images, maybe a barcode. And all this is not easily doable using the standard tools. Of course, you can resort to programming, yes. Having a developer doing that based on reporting services or business documents, okay, that's possible, yes. But then business users have no control about their templates anymore, apart from being a very expensive way. But business users need control about their templates, so what are they doing? They resort to copy-pasting. And copy-pasting is very error-prone, it's cumbersome, and it takes a lot of effort. And this is why introducing document automation in a company normally allows for a break-even of only 3 months. Well, that's the business perspective. Let's have a look on the technical perspective. Let's have a look what is Microsoft doing in terms of software architecture. Microsoft is splitting up its applications into smaller reusable services, universally reusable services, like Power Automate, Dataverse. Okay? Yes, there has always been an automation capability on AX, on NAV, on CRM, SharePoint of course. But Microsoft is trying to get rid of these proprietary capabilities in favor of the Power Platform because it's universally usable. It works for any system and also future systems. Okay? Another example is Microsoft Teams. You can use Microsoft Teams as a universal front door for all of these applications. And the adoption of Teams is great for good reason. Let's compare the new and the old architecture. In an old architecture, a customer would say, I have my AX and I'm running everything from there. I'm doing everything from AX, period. In a new architecture, the same customer would say, I'm using Dynamics 365 Finance and Operation for ERP, for example, but then I have my marketing department, they want to run their marketing campaigns from CE, so I have my CE, then I have some Power Automates for automation purposes, I'm using Teams as a universal front door, then I have documents, I want to manage them, so I'm using SharePoint for that, maybe my OneDrive link to that, and so on. So you have a lot of applications working together. What does that mean for the standard tools? The standard tools are always an add-on to one of these applications, so they don't work with all of them. But data tends to be more distributed, okay, in all of these applications. So what you want is a universally usable service for document automation. And most of third-party tools as well are an add-on to one of these applications. Same true here, okay? And the distributed information doesn't make it much easier for copy-pasters as well. So what you really want is a universal service for document automation that connects to every system, that integrates with every system, also future systems, that allows business users to design the templates to be in control of these documents and being able to create quite complex documents. And that's dox42 for you. Let's see it in action.
Good, so let's get started with our screen. And what I'd like to show you first is our dox42 connector within Power Automate. So probably you're familiar with Power Automate and the list of connectors you can see here. So you can find lots of connectors, and if you search for dox42, here you can see here we have a connector, and this one we're going to use later on within our flows. But now let's go to the scenario. The first one is we're selling solar panels. It's a quote scenario. So I'm in Dynamics CE, and what I have here is that in this demo scenario we have 3 products for our solar panels quote. We have our customer here, the customer name, and the email address. And I want to generate a quote for that scenario. So probably you're wondering, solar panels, they can be quite a complex product. So just having 3 items here in a table won't be enough for a good quote document. So what we thought of for the demo process is that we're not just integrating data from CE, but we're also integrating some text blocks which we're storing in SharePoint. So as you see, here's our CE data and here's our quote ID. And then on SharePoint, I have a folder with the same quote ID, and here everyone that was involved in the project team uploaded the documents they want to include in their final quote document. So what do we have? We have a first Word document here that shows us the average sunshine hours of where the customer is located, if solar panels actually make sense. Then we have an Excel where actually we have formulas and calculations. So this is for our service guys. They don't use CE, but they just calculate within Excel how much they will charge. Then we have a PowerPoint presentation. We want to integrate that picture into our document as well. And finally, we have a small incentive for marketing, a Word document. And I'm just gonna mark that, and I say this is going to be orange so that we see that we're actually working with live data here. Good. And now I'm going back to my CE. I'm the salesperson and I wanted to generate the quote now. And I have a few ways on how to do that using dox42. The first way I'm going to show you is using the dox42 CE solution with our pop-up. So up here I have a pop-up integrated, and here I can choose the languages of my templates. In that case I only have English templates, and then I can choose different templates. I'm choosing the sales quote one, and I say that it should be generated as a PDF. I want to see it first. By clicking the checkbox here I could send it by email from Dynamics. The document is downloaded now. And here we can see we have a logo up here, we have the address for the customer, we have a QR code. Here we have the first document which we added from SharePoint. Then this is a dynamic table with the 3 products we have added from Dynamics. We have here the Excel document, which you might remember, the PowerPoint presentation, and finally the last Word document, and here you see that the change was already live. Good. So I really like the quote. I think it's a good one, a nice looking one, and I think we can send it out to the customer. The only thing I'm worried about is that the customer is a really loyal one, and I actually want to give them a bit of a bigger discount. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to change the discount from 20 to 25% because I really want to make sure that they purchase it. So I go back here and I say the discount should not be 20, but it should be 25, and I'm saving. And now I have again a few options. So I could go back and use dox42 to generate the document and, for example, send it automatically by email. I could create a draft email, I could set up an approval workflow, I could store it to SharePoint, and so on. But actually, I don't need to do that because in the background, as soon as I change the discount from 20 to 25, the dox42 Power Automate connector was triggered. It regenerated our document and it stored it for me on SharePoint. Let's check that out. So let me first show you our flow. So basically here we have our sales quote flow, and here we set whenever an item within the quotes has been changed, modified or deleted. Then take the dox42 service call, so the dox42 connector, generate a document with dynamic names and store it for me on SharePoint. How to insert all of that I'm going to show you in a second. Okay, good. That's the flow. And we can see that it actually happened and succeeded. I can see that a few seconds ago a document was generated with Dynamics metadata modified by me. And that's my quote document. Here it is with the 25% discount added now. Cool. So that was our first scenario. And while I'm on that scenario, you're probably wondering, okay, that's how it looks like for the end user. They click a button or they don't click anything at all. The Power Automate Premium Connector does all the work. So let's now have a look at actually the template behind it. So here I have a library for my 4 sales templates I have here. And basically you could also manage that from Microsoft Teams, but I'm showing you that from SharePoint. And here I have a lot of different templates, and I'm taking the sales quote one, I'm opening it in Word, and now you will see a document, and instead of all the data which you saw when I generated the PDF, we now have a lot of different colorful fields, and those are the dox42 placeholders. So, and here if I double click a placeholder, it actually opens the so-called dox42 data field explorer, and what I can see here is exactly where does that data field come from. In that case it comes from a data source called organizations, and the field is called name. Down here again it's the same, or here that one is actually coming from a SharePoint data source, and here it's also called name, and it's inserted as a type Word document. Good. I can show you a lot of more regarding the template design here. So basically here's the dox42 add-in where you do all your design. And what I'll do first is I'm going to generate the template locally. So whenever I do changes, whenever I design the template, I can always test them locally and generate it here within Word. So now it's actually live showing me all the quotes I have in CE. I'm taking the solar panels one again, and now I clicked on generate, and now once again dox42 is taking the data from CE and from SharePoint. It's pulling all of that and it includes it for me here in my document, which will be returned in a second. Here it is. And if we have a look here, we can see that this block turned into the address. We have a QR code added. We have an extra name field added. We have here our first Word document that was inserted. And down here we have a dynamic table. So here we worked with the repetition. So you can see that the data field are only added once, but the table has 3 lines. If we, for example, had 5 products, then the table would automatically have 5 lines. Or here we have a condition added, where here it says freight and the freight amount, but in a generated document there is no freight added because there was none. So actually the whole line is not shown. And on the last hand page, you can see again the PowerPoint slide as well as the Word document. And importantly, so where does the data actually come from? You do that within the data map designer that you connect to your data sources. And today we're gonna show you mostly Dynamics CE and Dataverse and SharePoint. However, you have many more data sources you can use with dox42. Like you could also connect databases, Excel data sources, web service, XML JSON, you could have D365 FO, BC, SAP, develop, and so on. To find out more about that, please contact us on dox42.com/contact, and we're happy to provide you with a demo of the other integrations we're having. And now let's go back to CE. And what I will do now is I also want to create another document. And that document is now a contract. So we're hiring Michaela Mitarbeiter. She's going to be a new developer in our company. And I now want to generate a contract. Actually, what she said, she's not going to sign it if the salary is not increased a bit more. So, okay, what I'm doing is I go back and I would change the salary again. However, this could happen more often, and I don't want to have to think about clicking the button again to regenerate the document. So what I want to do is, as soon as I change something for a contact, I want a flow to be triggered. So now we're going to set up a new flow together. And what I have here, I'm here within my flow environment. I want to generate a contract flow. Again, I've already added the Dataverse connector, and here I said if a new contact is added or modified, then I want a new step, and I want the dox42 connector, yes, the dox42 service call, and here I'm gonna add my call. So, and how I'm actually setting up the flow is by using the dox42 server designer. The server designer helps us to easily set up our calls. In our scenario, we said that we want to generate an email action, and now I can just simply copy and paste my information in here. That's the domain of the dox42 server, and here is the query string. And now I can add some further variables, like for example the contract. I want to include Michaela's name, or dynamically a name. And now I save it, and now it's time to test it. So I'm going back here and I say, Michaela, you are going to receive a salary of 11,000. So now I've saved it in CE, and that is going to trigger the flow. And that flow in the background this time is not storing the document on SharePoint, but it's actually sending it to Michaela by email. Let's check out the mails. So that worked, and we have an email now in our inbox. Michaela Mitarbeiter, here's the contract attached, and we can see the 11,000 euros. Great. So one final scenario from Dynamics. Now I'm in the business of creating a proposal. And that proposal is not based on a Word template, but it's based on a PowerPoint template. And once again, I could trigger the generation from here, but I want the Power Automate connector to do the work. So what I'm doing is I say, okay, I'm just changing something here, the text block, for example, and I'm changing a bit of the text, and I'm saving. And now again, a dox42 Power Automate flow is triggered, and behind that trigger now there's also an email generation, and the email is sent to the customer's inbox, but also to our sales team's Teams channel. so that they can always be up to date on what's actually happening with the customer. So here it is in our Teams channel. The sales proposal is here, and if I open the email, it's downloading it and opening it with Outlook, and we can see here in the attachment we have a dox42 PowerPoint document generated. So you can not just generate documents based on Word templates, but also on Excel and PowerPoint. So those were our CE scenarios, but as I mentioned in the beginning, dox42 can be used across the whole Microsoft platform. So another way on how to use it is from Power Apps. And the Power App I'm going to show you now is an employee contract Power App. So I want to generate an employee contract for a person I'm hiring. I'm going to take Johannes this time. And here I could adjust a few things, and I can generate the contract. Of course, I could also do this from my phone, but just for the sake of the demo, I'm doing it here from my PC. Basically, now I generated the employee contract, and now instead of sending it, the mechanism behind it, there's also dox42 flow in the background. The mechanism behind it is to actually store that document for me on SharePoint. Let's have a look at our SharePoint. This is the correct, and here we can see a few seconds ago I generated an employee contract for Johannes. Good. And now the final scenario is the scenario where you can actually win this Lego set over there. Let me show you how. You can now see a QR code here on your screen. And basically, please scan that QR code. I'm gonna take you along the journey of what it means and what's the process behind winning this Lego set. So what you can do is, here we have a dox42 quiz. I'm gonna answer that now, but I'm not gonna tell you if I've used the right questions, so please pay close attention throughout the video and to see if you find the right answers. First one, which data sources dox42 can integrate. Then I'm going to answer some more questions. I can say what can you win, and I'm giving my name, my email address. Of course, feel free to follow along and do that as well. My company name, and then of course I want a news update, 30-day free trial, and have a scenario. So now I'm submitting it. Now comes the part where the dox42 sales automation comes into play. So while you've submitted the quiz, actually 2 flows were triggered. Let's have a look at those flows. And actually the first flow is that whenever someone responds to the form, the details are taken and an item is created in a SharePoint list. Okay, so basically your entry is added to a SharePoint list. Then another flow kicks in, and that says when that item is created within that SharePoint list, then a few authentication steps happen, and dox42 generates a document and informs the participant that they are now participating in the quiz. Let's have a look at our SharePoint first. So the quiz response list. Here it is, I've participated, and if you are participating right now, your name will be in there as well. So you will be notified too by email that you participated. And I was too, so let's have a look at my emails. So there you go, here it is, a dox42 email sent with the Power Automate flow that they thank me for participating, and if I'm lucky, I will win it. There you go. And now Usually, so this list is usually very long because all of you have participated in that quiz. Right now, it's rather easy. When everyone has participated, we will run a random number generator to decide who's the winner. For today, for the demo, I'm gonna make it easy. I'm gonna choose me. And now I'm gonna use the dox42 SharePoint Online App. We also have an app for that to notify me that I'm the winner. I could either send the quiz confirmation again, or I say inform quiz winner. And now dox42 is generating an email based on a dox42 Word template that's generated as an email, and I will soon get the message that I won this Lego set over there. Email was sent. And there we go. Congratulations, you're the lucky winner of the Lego Campervan Set. And I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed that it will actually be you. Good, so those were the demo scenarios. We saw a quote generation from CE with our D365 CE integration with Power Automate. We saw a contract flow by email and DocuSign with Power Automate and with CE. We saw a PowerPoint presentation generated also with our Power Automate connector. We saw Power Apps, and we saw how you can win the Lego set. Lots of demos and a real life scenario for the sales automation. But now let's let our dox42 customers speak how they use dox42 on a daily basis. Thank you so much for staying with us all this time. You saw the challenges and power of document automation. You saw the power of dox42 and the Power Platform for document automation. And you heard what our customers have to say about their usage of dox42. So what can you do now? You have a few options. The first one is that you visit the dox42 section on the Dynamics page to find some further infos about us. But you can also go directly to dox42.com/contact to request your free personalized online demo. That can be with any system and any scenario, as dox42 is the one document automation tool across the whole platform. For example, from D365 CE, FO, PC, the Power Platform, SharePoint, or even SAP, Salesforce, or others. With that, you can also request your 30-day free trial. And there's one more thing. If you haven't done so yet whilst I've shown you our sales automation process, you can still once again scan the QR code and participate in our quiz so that this Lego Campervan set soon is yours. Thank you so much. That's it from us. Enjoy the rest of DynamicsCon. Bye bye. Hello everyone, and just a quick live hi from my side. Thank you so much for participating and watching the show. We really hope that you've enjoyed our session. So now we really want you to stay in touch. Feel free to contact Christian and me. We're online. We're happy to chat with you or have a Teams meeting, or go to dox42.com to claim your 30-day free trial and your free online demo, which we will personalize to you. And also, good luck. I keep my fingers crossed for you to win the Lego set. If anything else comes up to you, feel free to contact us at any time. It's always a pleasure to be here at DynamicsCon for you. Thank you very much.